Can I talk to you about something real quick, bro?
Go for it.
Bro, so you see my shirt, right? You like my shirt?
Yeah.
It's really smooth, right? This is that into
Got some good initials, huh?
Well, you know, I'm an AM guy, and I'm always into being into me, and this is by Into the AM. But shout out to them, man. Like I said, man, I love this material, bro.
I think I have the same one, right?
You do. This is the basic, their basic tee, right? This is the navy blue. I like the navy blue. But we also seen I had the graphic tee on last time with the spaceman where I told you I went upstairs, right? And I forgot that it glue in the dark, and it started glowing in the dark. And I freaked out, scared wifey a little bit. But that's what they got. That's the type of material they rock with. And they got a couple deals going on right now, too. Couple of deals.
Let's hear about them.
You know, you got to talk about the deals, right? So the first deal they have going on at Into the AM, on these basic tees like this, you can get 3 of these for $45. I'm talking high quality. It feels good, breathable. I like that. But then also on those graphic tees that we talked about as well for all my researchers, my galaxy travelers out there. 3 for $60 for those. But this is the big kicker because, you know, we don't just do deals that anybody else can get because anybody can get that deal. I'm into stacking good deal on top of good deal. And the way we do that is by having a code for you, baby. That code is MOATS10. But the link is right there, intotheam.com/MOATS10. And you'll get 10% off of your purchases along with, so check this out, right? They do these memberships where they'll send you a shirt a month. You even get 10% off of that membership by using MOATS10 as well. Ooh. So like I said, man, we stack promo code, we stack deals for y'all because if we gonna talk about it, we got to make sure that it's for y'all. So with that being said, check out Into the AM so y'all can get some fine clothing like this, baby.
We do have some spicy stuff going on, though.
We do, though, because we did find out who was going to be named starting quarterback for this game, and that did great.
I want to know if your opinion's changed on this at all now.
I'm ready to talk about it. Actually, in the midst of me saying I'm ready to talk about it, Stephanie was laughing and she just said, "Hey, love you too, Deke. Love you too." So I just had to drop that because it was funny because we were laughing about it. So now that we're back, yes, let's talk about this thing, man. Dwayne Haskins getting the nod to start this week. No Mason Rudolph this game, though, right? That was the big thing. So everybody obviously went on and said, "Oh, man, he has to have the number 2 spot locked up." It's official now because he's not playing in this 4th preseason game. You know somebody else who didn't play in that 4th preseason game? Who everybody thought had it locked up?
Was it really Landry?
It was.
I was going to ask you that.
Absolutely.
I can't remember.
Absolutely.
I wasn't going to try to look that up.
Because Mason and Dobbs went out there and Mason balled out, Dobbs balled out. Exact same scenario. So to me, I look at it as the exact same scenario, as I already said. I mean, if they keep Mason, I can understand why they would, because as we said, like, we don't feel like...
You just don't think it's locked up.
Right.
Though.
We don't feel like like some people make him sound like he's the worst quarterback ever. We don't feel like that. We think that he's still a good quarterback. We thought he played well in the preseason and training camp. It was just when it's a competition, we felt like Haskins did more. We thought Haskins gives you more ability. And if we're going to take this approach of, okay, who do we think has more upside? We all feel like Haskins has that. We feel like Haskins has the potential to be a franchise quarterback. He's not that right now, but he has the potential to be that. Whereas with Mason, people aren't as confident in him because we've seen him in Pittsburgh already. Now with Haskins, the mystery element is there because of the dysfunction in Washington. And we've seen enough consistent good days here to make us feel that, hey, maybe this thing is different. So for me, I haven't changed my opinion on it at all. I could, like I said, it feels identical to the Landry Jones situation, even down to that decision, even down to the response to that decision, because that was the exact same response when it was Landry Jones. Exact same response. So for me, I'm just like, until I see it happen differently, I'm going off of what I've seen from them before in the exact same situation. Okay.
Yeah. And it goes back to what you're saying right there about you could see them still keeping Mason though at the same time.
I feel like
you're flexible enough on that to where
I just feel like they'll try to move Mason more important. Like, but once again, it goes back to, all right, if we don't feel like he's good like that, what do other teams think of him? Like, yeah, it's hard.
I think the main thing is keeping Haskins on the roster.
Correct.
No matter what.
And I think that happens regardless.
Yeah. Now is Mason QB2, and we talked about this.
Right.
Having him, does that necessarily hurt Haskins' upside? I don't think it does. But could you get something for Mason where you're just like, hey, we're committed to Haskins as QB2. we view you more this way?
Yeah.
Is it almost just like a verbal thing that you're throwing out there? Because I don't think having Mason and Haskins, like, how does that hurt us at all? Because you're still keeping Haskins around, and Mason, if for some reason, I don't know if they feel this way or not, I have no clue. Or just because Mason's been in the system, if you want to just still have him at QB2, or you feel like he has the slight edge over Haskins, even though we don't think that, you got him there. Yeah. I think we're screwed either way if Ben gets hurt.
I agree. If Ben goes down this year, we're going to have bigger issues. Like, that's just what it is. To me, though, they did part of this competition this year, but I still feel like I would want to see it when 7 isn't here. And I don't know if we're ever going to get that competition to play out like that, where you legit can't have that idea of we're competing, but I know he's going to be the guy
for future stuff.
Like that the pressure with that is still present, but I feel like it's a difference.
But it's not, especially if you think Ben's coming back.
Right. And that's my thing. So I'm like, I don't think we're going to ever get that competition where we can really see if Mason, your back is against the wall. You have to make plays that you're the franchise guy. Same with Dwayne Haskins. Like, I don't think we're ever going to get that element right now just because Ben is still going to be here. Like, yeah.
It's going to be interesting. I don't know how it's going to play out. As soon as they made that call, I was like, yeah, I guess they really like Haskins or Rudolph at QB2. Yeah. But I didn't know about, you've pinpointed it throughout this whole preseason. That's what it was. That you thought the Rudolph situation was basically exactly like Jones.
Yeah.
And if this 4th preseason game is exactly like how Jones was too, then
difference was we cut Landry right out. I think they would try to move
we'll just be less
Mason
shocked
first.
then, based off what you're saying, if he is cut.
Yeah. Like I said, I wouldn't be surprised by it. I could understand. Like, it makes, like I said, it's not a bad thing to have both guys, but as long as Ben is here, neither one of those guys are beating out Ben right now. That's my thing.
Like, if Ben did go down, I would rather have Haskins. Me
would
personally,
as well.
But
I would. I've already said that.
If the Steelers don't feel that way, I could see why they're keeping Haskins. That's all. Because they've kept him at QB2. The whole thing that has played out is really parallel to Jones, but maybe it is different in one way where they end up keeping Mason when it's all said and done. We don't know that. Well, I'm not surprised because you gave me all this inside information that he might get cut.
It's literally been the exact same thing. Like, it's nuts to me.
I won't be surprised if they keep him, though. He's just QB2. Haskins is QB3. Dobbs ends up getting cut. That's if I had to lean one way, I think that's the way I'm leaning with how it playing out.
Yeah. That's gonna be
I don't know if you're leaning one way or another, though. If you're just like 50-50.
I'm 50-50, but which one did you go? I'll go whatever you went. I'll go opposite of what you went. So you said you think Mason will still be here? So
I think it's going to be Ben, Mason, Haskins.
Okay, I'll go Ben, Haskins, Dobbs then.
Okay.
Yeah, I just figure I'd give it a little more,
a little spice.
Yeah, if we both agree all the time, it's not fun.
Put a little bet on it, $200 jersey.
Eyebrow. In this 4th preseason game, bro, outside of Mason, outside of this Haskins situation, right? Who else are you interested in seeing who you feel like has to have one of those games to save them spots?
Well, I want to say something about the Haskins one.
Yeah.
If he balls out, because the Panthers, it looks like they're going to be starting some of their guys.
Yes.
Or most of their guys, I
That's
think.
correct.
We shouldn't be playing Juju, Deontay, or the ones. I hope not. So if Haskins balls out with
if he does that,
McLeod, I don't know. Who else do we even have? Sexton, Bussy.
James Washington will be out there probably.
Okay, Washington.
Yeah, Washington will be out there.
He could ball out like that. And they just picked up J.C. Horn. They got a decent Jeremy Chin out there, Dante Jackson. Those dudes aren't bad. AJ Bouye. I don't know how long they're going to be playing.
I'm with you.
So we'll see what Haskins does. So that's like interesting. It was obviously interesting just to see like Haskins play, but now they're talking about him starting and everything. You're kind of bummed because it's not our ones, but their ones are going to be playing.
I'm excited about it, but I did low key laugh when I think it was Brooke Pryor. She had tweeted out. She said, Haskins' last start came against the Carolina Panthers. It was like 11 for 20 something, 150 yards, 2 picks, got benched for Tyler Heineke. Yeah, I was like, oh.
Someone asked him about that in an interview too.
They did. I don't know if they did. I was like, come on. Like, why we got to do that?
He answered it good though. He was like, I ain't worried about that. Like, that was me in the past. I'm not trying to be that guy. I wasn't even trying to be that guy then.
And me and you both said this when we first met Dwayne a couple of weeks ago at the softball event. We said like he just seems so mature. And when I was listening to his interview as well, they were asking him about, not getting the starter reps, not ever getting a chance to run with the ones. And he simply said, man, you got to earn the right to be out there with those guys. I love that. Like, I've heard guys say, well, coach's decision. That was always my thing. I never was going to hit you with the, hey, man, you got to earn the right. I always thought I had to. But as a player, it's different. As a player, you got to mentally, you feel like you're there. So, yeah, why you ain't start this game, Most? Ask that coach then. Talk to him. Don't talk to me about that. Ask coach. Is that guy better than you? Ask coach. Just talk to him about it. Ask coach. Yeah. But to see Haskins just simply in the heat of a competition against him and Mason Rudolph, where he can legit feel like he has performed better than him, right? More consistent. He can make a case for that.
Not only the preseason game, it seems like all these reports coming out of training camp are all slanted toward Haskins.
In practice, Haskins was the more consistent player. Mason still was playing well, but Haskins was just giving you that extra, the wow factor, the pop on some of that stuff. But man,
I can't believe they're bringing up the Carolina stuff.
That's rough.
that's hilarious.
He handled it well. He handled it well, but man, I'm like, that's what you want to ask this guy? Like, out of all the questions? Dang. Yeah, man.
Okay. So I'll stick with my staple one I've been doing literally the whole preseason, and that's our cornerbacks. Because they got a decent little receiving core here.
They do.
DJ Moore, Robbie Anderson. They drafted Terrence Marshall.
I really wonder how much those guys are going to play, though.
I wonder, but...
And it's not Terrence.
We're not going to...
It's
Terrace. Yeah, I botched that up.
Say it, Terrace.
We're going to be starting with Pierre and Sutton. I mean, Hayden's not going to play, so we might get a couple series against those guys. Yeah. I'm
ready to see Justin Lane. I'm sticking right
Maybe those three versus Marshall, Anderson, and DJ Moore.
I definitely want to throw him in. I wanted to include him in that. Absolutely.
How early do you think he'll come in, though? He might not get any of those guys.
Who, Justin?
Yeah.
No, I think he comes in right away, especially when they go slot.
You think who's going to be bumping the slot? They're going to bump Sutton?
If they're going, if they stick with the ones, I think they will just bump Sutton inside because that's already what they're trying to project on him. They started to try it last week just to go back to it. So I could easily see them just simply say, okay, 4th preseason game, Cam, you're not going to be out here long. Bump in there to the slot, get you a couple reps. Justin, you come out here when it's when it's the slot situation like that, you'll go out there to the outside corner. And then once Cam subs out in a series or two, now you already got your two guys in there in terms of Pierre and Lane. That's how I see it playing out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be fun then. Hopefully we'll get to see that. I don't really have anyone else then. I mean, how much is McCaffrey going to play? How much is Bush going to play on our side? Schobert? Because those are the two names I could see actually playing a little bit. Though?
Can he make the team based on this game? That's the real question. Because that's the situation he's in right now.
That means we're keeping 4 backs. I don't see us dropping Balaj or McFarland.
So can he make the team with this performance tonight? Or in 2 nights?
Yeah, depending on who he's up against on the rest of the roster. I don't know if it'd be between like him or Marsh.
Yeah.
Him or cornerback X. But if it's him versus one of the other 2 running backs, I don't think so. But if we're keeping 4 running backs, maybe. Because he does some of that special team stuff.
He does, man. He definitely does.
Maybe. I don't know if they were going to keep him, that they were going to do it anyway, despite this game. That's all. They're going to have to keep 4 running backs. I think that's the only way he stays. I don't think it's going to be up against Balaj or McFarland.
Yeah, I think it's going to be hard. Man, when you miss that much time, it just puts you behind the 8-ball, man.
Position player I'm thinking of could be a decent player that we don't want to cut either.
I mean, because we had that same conversation when we were talking about if you keep 4 or 5 inside guys, 4 outside guys, how many corners are you keeping? Like, you could legitimately be taking away a good player somewhere else to keep that 4th running back.
Yeah, because you think with the corners, Mollett, Justin Lane, they're like cornerback 4-5 range. Who's 6? Mark Gilbert. You got some of the line. Bugs, Mondo, Wormley, Loudermilk. Inside linebackers, we got a bunch of dudes too.
Like, depth, like, it's hard. It's hard to
Trey Norwood's lucking out, man. Trey Norwood and Killebrew, man. They lucked out on this preseason. They really did.
Hey, sometimes your best ability is your availability. I've made a team or 2 solely based on my availability. Oh, everybody's hurt.
And having no one else on the depth chart.
Everybody's hurt. Most still available. Everybody hurt. Most still show up. Everybody hurt. Hey, that boy Most, he is here. I've been called a war tank. That's what they've called me before. I that's why I love the movie. You seen Fury? That movie with
I have not.
Oh man, it's got your boy Brad Pitt. It's about this tank, going fighting the Germans, I think it was World War II for that one. But I was thinking myself like that. He's like, yo, you're like a war tank. It doesn't matter where you've been, the carnage around you, the bombs that go off, you just keep on trucking. You just here. You're always available. Sometimes that can get you in, that can help you out. So shout out to Killer Brew. Shout out to Norwood. You gotta be healthy. You don't have to be a better player than Antoine Brooks. Just be healthier than Antoine Brooks. That's it. There's plenty of guys that survive like that. Like, yo, that dude's a bad man, but he's not healthy.
I don't know if I have anything else I'm watching for.
All right.
Outside of just the clock, so we get to the regular season.
And did everybody get out of this?
Because we already got the taste last week. We already got it. I'm like, bro, I'm ready for regular season. Because a bunch of this stuff, it's cool to talk about. I don't know how much it's going to matter outside of injuries, but we're not projecting that because these are like depth guys and all this stuff. If Najee's balling out, we're not worrying about Benny Snell, Yeah. That's all. Outside of the cornerbacks, really.
I can respect that.
Because still the cornerback position is still a little bit fluid.
I think for me, obviously Justin Lane is huge. I need to see some more. I need to see continued production, this continued trajectory that he's on. But another guy that I want to see as well is Jameer Jones.
Oh, yeah.
Jameer has silently and quietly had a very, very productive preseason. He's only had a sack in like every preseason game. He's obviously been producing in training camp practices. And I like the fact that he gets tackles on special teams. We saw that as well. So when I see him, I'm just like, man, he's a guy that when I think of Quincy Roche, right? The draft pick, Cassius Marsh, Jameer's in competition with those guys.
Yeah.
If he goes out and balls out again, I can make a case for him. I can definitely make a case for him being that fourth guy. I was surprised by it because I thought it would be a surefire Quincy thing because I really liked his tape. But to me, Jameer has just been producing. Like every single game he's been out there, he's produced, man. He was the guy who got the half sack with Marcus Allen last week. Yeah, he was the guy.
It was an easy case for either one of them, though, to be on practice squad. Whichever one makes the roster, whichever one doesn't, just because they're young like that.
Man, if you one of them dudes, you want to be on active. It's all about being on active. You can't even consider.
Oh, I get it. I get it as the player, but as the Steeler organization, at least you get to keep one of them around. You don't have to let them loose.
Holy cow!
Here's what I saw. I don't know if you're watching the same thing.
I definitely saw that.
I don't know if we might not be thinking the same thing. Juan Rangel says Deke watching for them to cut Marsh for sure.
Oh no, I did not see that. I was looking at a different part. You definitely watch.
You think I'm just sitting? You think I'm sitting on my couch going like this?
Birdman. Yeah, Cassius got you.
I'm rooting for him, man. I want him to get a sack.
Is it?
I am. I'm rooting for him.
Who's the matchup this week? Last week you wanted Cassius versus Penny. Did you do that on Madden as well or no?
I did not. I didn't get around to it.
I saw the picture, but I didn't know if you played the game.
You know what happened? They dropped a new Terrell Edmonds card. That's what happened. So he took priority.
Got you.
I still could do that. You know what? It's on Cassius though. Make the team. We'll do the gameplay.
All right, that's how you do it then, Cassius. Make the game. Hey, make the team. You make the team. Make the team. You get in the game, baby. That's simple. I like it.
Exactly.
I like it.
He's on the depth chart right now. He's actually on my Steelers team right now, just because of all the shitty cards they've given us. He's on my depth.
Solid player right there, then, man. Solid player.
I think they almost gave him a 70. I think it's high 60s.
You can work with that. You're very talented, anyways. Yeah. All right.
I'm checking the matchup though.
Yeah, check that out, and then after that, actually, while you're checking that, I'll wait for you. Go ahead. I was over here like, let me multitask. Will you read that? I shot this out, and I was like,
okay, their right tackle. Man, they drafted a dude in the third round. This could be third round. He's second on their depth chart.
Comparable matchup.
Brady Christensen.
Okay. We're BYU, right?
Let's see. Yeah,
BYU. Yeah,
you were watching some tape on him.
I liked him.
6'6". And then they got starting right now, Taylor Maton.
Okay.
Second round pick.
Yeah.
Western Michigan. He's been in the league a while. Maybe I should know that name, but
he's not seeing him though. He'll see Brady. He'll see Brady. I like that though. Brady. That could work. That could work. We'll judge that. We can work with that, Cassius. That's a comparable matchup for you. You cook on Brady, you can get you a spot. Absolutely.
So that's all I got.
All right.
That's all I got.
I'll give the last little rundown, man, because I'm trying to think to myself. Oh, actually, we did get 2 other things that did pertain to this game, though. Let's go UW. When we were talking about some of the biggest things that we're all looking for in this game, right? What are we checking out for? Let's go UW says the biggest thing he needs to see from Haskins is touch. He has a rocket, but I haven't seen too much touch throws. Now, in practice, he's had a chance to throw some of those touch passes that you're talking about. And I definitely was agreeing with you because I wanted to see that as well more consistently. And I thought it was more footwork related than accuracy related in terms of like it being like just a lack of arm accuracy. I thought watching him on tape, his footwork just wasn't consistent enough and it put him in bad situations and made his accuracy all over the place. But watching him in training camp from start to finish, man, seeing how he's continued to just progress, he definitely has touch, but it was largely because he was more consistent with his footwork. I mean, even some of the stuff I've shown you on tape versus what you see now when you're watching him, outside of the one back foot throw, right? We don't see a ton of that type of stuff.
Yeah, he did that in the Hall of Fame game.
Yeah, we don't see a ton of that. Whereas beforehand, you pull up his tape, my man throwing with both feet in the air, he's throwing with the back foot up, he's throwing with the left foot. I'm like, bro, I don't know what you're doing right now, but this is not good.
That's the type of shit that goes viral on Instagram.
Like, oh my, and people love it. And
I'm telling you,
nuts,
these young quarterbacks, whenever they're practicing at these like fields and stuff,
I'm just like,
they do these crazy ass throws, like you saw with Zach Wilson and everything. It's like, bro, all right, I don't care if you're doing that now. Win me a Super Bowl. That's what I want to see. Yeah, and that doesn't necessarily pertain to winning Super Bowls.
This is true.
Throwing jump passes and shit.
Yeah. Let me go behind the back, one leg off the back foot across my body. Yeah, for 70 yards. Okay. Sounds good.
Mahomes will do that in the worst case scenario, potentially. But he's a great quarterback outside of that. That's extra stuff. Stop practicing that.
Yeah. That's fake quarterback news. You don't do that type of stuff, man. Fake quarterback news.
Exactly.
All right. So, trying to think. What was... Oh, and then here, this was from Antoine 1398. Antoine 1398 also said that in terms of the center position, Kendrick Green said see Kendrick get pushed back multiple times. Oh, he's saying that seeing Kendrick Green get pushed back multiple times has been worrisome. Is that something that we should be concerned about in this 4th preseason game? Do we want to see some improvement there? Or are we confident with he's done?
I think you always want to see improvement. Yeah. Because there were some moments last game, but I thought he improved.
Yeah.
I thought I don't want to say silence the doubters completely because we still need to see more from him, but he looked better compared to a little bit more of our concern. Because you brought up in training camp, he was getting pushed back a little bit. Obviously, the Eagles game. Just do more.
Yeah.
It looks like he's going to start, so we're going to have to roll with him.
Yeah. Now, his leash, a lot longer than Chooks?
It is.
Okay.
I think it is.
Even though we know BJ Finney and JC Hassenauer.
That's actually a fair point.
They are more comparable as backups than Dan Moore.
We don't have to make a trade to bring in someone necessarily. We don't either for Dan Moore.
True, but in the sense though, Dan Moore isn't proven just yet. It'd still be taking a chance whether you're going Chooks or Dan. Whereas with Kendrick, the chance is bigger because with JC and BJ, they've actually started. I mean, even here in Pittsburgh, they've started multiple games now for the Steelers. So yeah, that is interesting though, man.
How short of a leash? Wow.
Yeah.
Damn. Maybe you just don't start with Green then. I want to though. So
as well.
Maybe he's just gonna have to have thick skin with it.
Yeah.
If we gotta pull you, we gotta pull you, but just be ready. Well, not only this season or next season.
Well, when it's young players, I'm not as concerned about their feelings like that. That's more so for veterans or guys like or not even TJ, but guys who have like established themselves and we know they are significant contributors to your team, offensively or defensively. Those are the guys where it's like, okay, if we know they're bringing this player in could cause a rift, don't bring that player in. No different. We talk about the competition at quarterback, right? If we know this quarterback you bring him in is going to cause a rift, why do it when you already have your guy here? With Kendrick, though, he's young. He hasn't proven anything just yet. I mean, just because you're drafted early, and he still was like mid-tier early because he's a 3rd round pick, just because you're drafted early, it still doesn't mean anything. How many 1st round picks, even in Pittsburgh, have we seen not really, live up to their full potential? didn't matter where they were drafted, that they didn't live up to it. They weren't as productive as they should have been or as they could have been. So when it's that situation, man, I wouldn't care if you started with JC or BJ or if it's Kendrick and you pull him and then you put him back in and you pull him. Like, I'm cool with all of it because as a young guy, I'm like, you don't get to complain. You got to earn that right. And he ain't earned that right just yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good with me.
Not to be harsh about it.
No, I get what you're saying.
That's just like
that's who I want. That's who I want to be a starter. At the end of the day, this offensive line needs to be good.
Yeah.
Whoever's in there is performing. That's what all that really matters at the end of the day.
Absolutely. And